Right, so people say money cannot buy happiness. But let me ask you a question. Let's say you have a child, right, who you care about very deeply, but something happens to that child and you need money, right? And you think this way that money does not buy happiness, so I am not going to make money because money is not going to make me happy. But something, let's say, happens to your wife, your child, your father, or your mother, or anyone you care about deeply, right? And you need money, and you're in the hospital, and the doctor tell you, you owe, this is the case, and we need this amount of money, and you're like, oh, I don't have money. What am I gonna do? And you're worried, right? If you're crying because you don't have money, right? So, are you gonna in that moment? Are you gonna say this to yourself? Oh, I am very glad that I did not make money because money does not buy happiness. Are you gonna think that? Probably not, right? And that is a very important thing you need to understand. Money is a tool. Can money buy happiness? 100%. Yes, it can. Anyone who says that to you is lying, right? But at the same time, happiness and money are two different things. Because I've seen people who are homeless, right? Who don't eat 3 times a day, maybe 2 times, maybe sometimes one time, and they are happy. So if you say to me, oh Zain, I am very unhappy, even though, yeah, I have a home, yeah, even though I have a family who take care of me, right? Or even though I work and I'm able to afford food or even have a roof over my head, right? But I'm still not happy, right? Like, I am not happy. I want more, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting more, right? By the way. But those people, those homeless people, right? They don't have what you have. And they would like to have what you have, right? Wouldn't they? But a lot of them, not everyone obviously, people are people and people are different and some complain and some don't. And if you do, you're one of them. So some people who are homeless are happy. What the? What reason do you have? Tell me. Right, I was about to say. What reason do you have to not be happy? Tell me. Listen, you probably have people who care about you. You probably have money to eat 3 to 2 times a day. You probably have roof over your head. You don't need anything else. Everything else you need is a desire. So shut up, right? And again, happiness, right? Happiness is more about appreciating what you have. If you do not appreciate things you have, you do not value them. And when you do not value them, what do? You look for things more, which things you have. And there's nothing specifically wrong for wanting things more or wanting things to be better. But you can be happy wherever you are in life. If a homeless guy can be happy, what's wrong with you? It's a mindset thing, right? And the biggest thing I would say is complaining. You complain too much, even though you have no reason to complain. Or you say, yeah, I have a house, but it would have been nice, if I had a big house. Yeah, I have a car, but if it would have been nice if I had a more luxurious car, right? You would think these things. And even if you want those things, you're gonna have to work for them because that is what you want, right? No one owes, no one is gonna give that to you, right? So that's the first thing. And the first thing which I talked about, right? That if you're in scenarios where you need money for the people who you care about deeply, and maybe they have some disease, something like that, and you need money, you probably wouldn't be thinking, if you think this way, right, that money does not buy happiness, would you be thinking this? Honestly ask yourself, right? Because I don't think you would be thinking this, that, oh, I'm very glad that I didn't make money because money does not even buy happiness. So what's the point? You probably wouldn't be thinking that. And I believe, right? I believe in preparing yourself for the worst times, because times can get worse, right? So that you're prepared for them and you don't complain, right? And obviously, even if something like that happens, it's a choice to complain. But it's better to prepare yourself, right? I don't look at money and say, oh, money is happiness, right? I don't like to say I am happy or in this at this moment where like at the stage where I am right now. I don't like saying I am happy or unhappy because I mean I feel sad sometimes. I feel, you know, like you feel different kind of emotions. Sometimes you feel elevated and sometimes the opposite of that. And that is pretty natural. If you think that is happiness, that first of all is no happiness. You're supposed to feel that. You're supposed to sometimes feel down. So you're supposed to sometimes feel elevated. That is natural. That is normal. And if you think that that you're feeling down, that is unhappiness, that means that you're not that means that you're not happy. That is not the case, right? I can feel down. I can still be happy because I don't look at the way I feel and say, okay, the way I feel dictates if I'm happy or not, right? The way I would say, I'm at peace, right? I don't need happiness. You need happiness, right? I don't need happiness. So that's the case, right? And the biggest thing I would say, how you feel right now or any time, like even if you feel sad, whatever, I could be in pain. I would not say I'm unhappy, right? So it's a choice, right? And this is another thing. You're just too attached to the way you feel. That's also another thing. Yeah, so that is the thing, right? You think too much of happiness, first of all. You don't need happiness. Here's another thing. Let's take this scenario. Let's say you feel okay right now, but you say this, right? That I'm not unhappy. Or that I'm unhappy, right? But you feel okay. Let's say something happens and you're in a huge, like you're in pain, and I mean intense pain for a long time. In that moment, what are you going to be saying? Oh, I wish, I could be happy in this moment. Or would you wish that, I just wish to be okay, right? What would you be saying? You probably would be saying, if I could just feel okay, I would appreciate it so much. And I have been in situations like that, right? And even though in like where I have been in situations like that, I was still not like, even at that time I wasn't thinking this way. How I feel is happiness. Basically, if I feel elevated, I still obviously didn't think like that. But still, if you go through intense pain for a longer period of time, you would think this. I just want to feel okay. You would forget about happiness. So if you feel okay right now, be grateful, because a lot of people don't. And this is my point. We complain too much, right? If we stop complaining, and again, you're not going to stop automatically, right? What you do is you look at yourself every single day. How can I stop complaining? Okay, pay attention to yourself, the kind of thoughts you have in your mind, and in situations you see yourself complaining, you catch yourself complaining, you're like, shut up, right? You say that to yourself. I have no reason to complain in this. If I have no control over this, complaining won't do anything. And you do this over and over in different situations where you see yourself complaining. Over time, you won't see yourself complaining. This just won't happen. So yeah, that's that. And the another thing, money can buy happiness. How? Let's say you have a child who you care about deeply. You have a wife who you care about deeply, right? Like taking them on a vacation, do you think that would not make you happy? Is that not going to make you happy? I mean, if that is not going to make you happy, there's something probably wrong with you. So money can buy happiness, right? Money can buy happiness. Listen, if like there are a lot of people, right, who don't have money. And if you say, money can't buy happiness, if you make money, right, and if you help those people, and if you think that you would not be happy by that, are you even human? Tell me, are you even human? If that would not make you happy. So money can buy happiness, 100%. Now, some of you might say, well, I have, a lot of people, who have money kill themselves. Well, a lot of people who are poor kill themselves too, right? And people, I'm sure people who are more poor, like they like how much, like the amount of people who kill themselves who are poor is probably more than the amount of people who are rich. And you might think that people who kill themselves who are rich, you might think that is more, but you might hear that news more, because that is news. Nobody cares about someone who's poor who died. Does that make sense? So yeah, again, money can buy you happiness, and at the same time, you can have money and you can still be unhappy. But that is on you. That is not on money. That is on you, who you are already. That is the thing, right? Because let's be honest, right? Who you are right now, you probably have a lot of things. You have a house. You eat three or two times a day. You have a roof over your head, right? And let's take everything away, right? And then let's say you were living like that, homeless, didn't have much food, anything, like you ate one time a day, and then you said, oh, I wish I had that again. Now, would you say that, if I had that again, would that make me happy? Probably yes. So what is this that you're doing? You're complaining. You're complaining. And here's another thing. If you think having more is going to make you happy, that is not how it works. Because here's another thing. You may be thinking, oh, having that car, having that big house is going to make me happy. It is not going to make you happy. It's just going to make you feel that emotion in the beginning when you get it. Later, you won't give up. You won't care about it because it's just normal. So it's not happiness. It's just that dopamine you feel when you get something new. Happiness is something else. And I don't like happiness. I am at peace. I don't need happiness. So I hope it makes sense. Money can make you happy if you use it properly. If you don't have money, you can still be happy. If you have money, you can still not be unhappy, still be unhappy, and that is on you, not on money. Money is just a tool. Make money to prepare yourself for the worst times, because worst times can come, and you can use money for a lot of good things. And when a lot of people might say, oh, money is evil. Money is not evil. It's the people who it depends on who gets the money, right? That person inherently is already evil, right? And the money just boosted that.